The fire teams are in the buildings. They don't have any reason to believe they're going to collapse. They're saying they can easily control these fires with a couple of lines.
We got tanks, isolated pockets of fire. We should be able to knock it down with 2 lines. Radio that. 78th floor, numerous 1045 call horn.
But what about WTC-7?
In a controlled demolition.
It wasn't even hit by a building.
In a controlled demolition.
47-story structure has 2 small fires in it. A modern steel building had never collapsed from fire.
How could we have 3 happen in one day?
A little curious, isn't it? It's a little bit curious. It just seems odd.
Building 7, which of course was not hit by a plane and did not have significant fires in it, collapsed in the way of a classic implosion.
Without any airplane touching it. Without any airplane touching it.
The south tower fell in less than an hour, and the north tower in only about an hour and a half, so there simply wasn't enough time for that steel to be heated and to melt.
So the 110-story twin towers collapsed into a pile of rubble only a few stories high. They fall at virtually free fall speed.
Well, the towers came down in the velocity of free fall, which is totally impossible. They fall down like in 8 or 9 or 10 seconds.
All 3 buildings have a sudden beginning. There's a very sudden onset to the collapse. Then the collapse is straight down rather than the buildings falling over.
It's going on in the free fall. You know, in 8 or 6 seconds, a huge building, a skyscraper, is falling down on its footprint. It's totally impossible.
Yeah, and then you've got Silverstein.
Oh, well, Larry Silverstein.
The leaseholder, the owner of 7 as well as the rest of the complex, right? On tape, on the record, saying
He thought there'd been so much death and destruction, maybe the best thing to do was to pull it.
in a controlled demolition.
The owner or the leaser of the building said we tore it down.
And here is Larry Silverstein, the owner, who took out $7 million of insurance on the 2 towers. Here is his statement from America Rebuilds.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull. Then we watched the building collapse.
They made the decision to pull. They made the decision. And this building with 2 small fires implodes perfectly, and then there's video from every angle of the squibs or the blast points where the plastic explosives are detonating, and you see the ejection ports, you see the blast point.
Now, the big CIA/New York command center that was based in Building 7, they had moved out of the building the day before with FEMA, and this is now confirmed by Giuliani. We're running Tripod 2 drill for a terror attack on the facility that very morning.
This is what Dan Rather thought about 20 seconds after Building 7 collapsed. They backed the tape up and played it, and this is what he said live.
And again, what you're seeing are high shots. Now, here we're going to show you a videotape of the collapse itself. Describe that. Now we go to videotape, the collapse of this building. It's amazing. Amazing, incredible, pick your word. For the 3rd time today, it's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before, when a building was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down. The building was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down.
If there's a problem with Building 7, there's a problem with the whole thing.
There she is with the building smoking behind her. Burness, tell us, you've seen the video?
If there's a problem with Building 7,
It does what you just said at like 4:57. It goes to a news report at a desk at the BBC World, and it basically says, Building 7 has fallen
if there's a
due to
problem with
fire.
Building 7,
Well, then they go to New York City, and the woman reporting, you can kind of see Building 7 in the background, but you're like, there's no way. It's too good to be true. It can't be. It's 15 minutes until the building collapses, and then all of a sudden they focus in on New York City, and it's clear as day for over 2 minutes that World Trade Center Building 7 is still standing, and that that somehow this got on the AP wire beforehand.
Thank God we got the download.
Yes. Awesome.
Aha! Man, I tell you, I just love the battle. What about you? They're going to prison. They're going to prison. They're not going to stop the Republic.